Okay, now let's go to that presentation. Here it comes. So remember, this is the document that we're trying to present. The activities of Kuhn and Nagel in 2013 and 2014. 2014 being the predictions of what the activity, where the activities may go in the coming year. Okay. So this is the instruction. Kuhn and Nagel, a logistic and transport company. So we are presenting here the performances of the company and its economic forecast for 2014. Instruction. You are the head manager of Kuhn and Nagel, K&N. You called this meeting to share with the company staff the past, present, and future performances of the company. So the talk takes stock of the activities in 2013 and makes projection or prediction for the following year, 2014. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and many thanks for being here. I hope you're comfortably seated and that you can see and hear me very well. I recommend those of you in the back row to move probably to these unoccupied front seats here. Shall I share that secret with you? Those in the front rows will be treated to sweets and candies and hot drinks, as for us they personify loyalty to this our beloved company, right? Sweets and candies, something to be, very tempting to try. No, come on, just kidding. That was just a joke, But more seriously, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr. CD. I'm Mr. CD, and I am the head manager of K&N. And I would like to present to you the business results of our company in 2013 and the forecast for the coming year 2014. Some of you do know me, some of you may not. Some of you may not even have bumped into me into the corridors, but that is not exactly the point. It doesn't matter whether we've met or not, but this I'm quite pleased to share this information with you here, and many thanks for you who have, in the middle of a very tight timetables and tricky, shall we say, traffic, have managed to be here on time. Okay. Now, before I kick off with that talk, I would like to just kind of make a methodology point here, and you would see, as I was showing in that first picture, this conversation is based really on the chart that I showed you a minute ago. And on that chart, we can see just bars, horizontal bars of two colors, right? Gray and green, not blue, but green, right? Gray bars and green bars. So the gray bar represents the progression in volume of the global markets activity. So the global market concerning transport and logistics. So that parallel to that gray bar is a green bar. The green bar stands for the same volume of activities, the progression of those activities, but accomplished by our company Kuhn and Nagel this time. And around that, those bars are surrounded, if I may say, by is surrounded by a text, right? And that text, of course, gives some sort of additional information as to when a bar progresses either on the left or on the right. The text would kind of exemplify, the text would illustrate the reason behind that progression either on the left or on the right. So as I pointed out at the beginning, that chart indeed gives us a glance, a very quick, a quick glance. Then we can see how the company has been performing compared to the market. Okay, so that's for methodology wise. Okay, so we know what is what. We know how that graph or those bars work in a way. Now, for very evident motives or reasons, I just broke this talk into two main sections. Two main parts, two main points, whatever you call that. They correspond to our business activities in 2013 and in 2014. So those 2 years becomes kind of the two major points that I would try to develop in this talk, right? Okay. So as you can see, 2013 will be my starting point. I will be talking about the activities, our activities in 2013, right? That's my starting point. That's my first point. So with a noticeable, we can see it on the graph here, with a very noticeable exception of rail and road. Rail and road did not very, very well in 2013. So with that noticeable exception of rail and road transport, where the sales receded by 3%, right? Our company had shown quite encouraging numbers. We're talking about encouraging numbers, but rail and road really reached numbers like kind of minus 3%. We would call that a counter performance in a way. So rail and road did not do very well really in 2013. But if we keep that aside, the numbers are quite interesting to watch. Indeed, activity rose by 3% in sea freight, right? 3% in sea freight, it rose by, right? And then in air transport, it went up by 4%. Our activity went by 4% and 5% in logistics. If we compare that with what the global market is saying, so the global market, when we talk about sea transport, went up by only 2%. Air transport did not budge at all. It remains at 0% on the market, right? So you can see that with our 5%, we are really way above the progression of the market or the non-progression of that market. And of course, that global market in logistics just went up by 2% compared to our 5%, as we said a minute ago. So that in all those three sectors, we've been doing pretty well. Okay, turnover in sea transport went up. That is the reason we have here. In sea transport, that turnover went up because our company, our corporation, tried to recenter the profitable sectors of on the industry. We tried to refocus our attention on the sectors which were doing very fine. So we can read that on line 25 or that article of Les Echos there. So just to I mean, the numbers are quite interesting here. We've done better than the market itself. So to wrap up this first part, to finish with this first part, that is the activities in 2013, I think it is very fair to say about air freight and logistic that what happened probably to make that activity kind of boom, if we may say, was that we closed down. We closed down what we call the non-profitable units of our company, and that proved to be a very good decisions, because then we became very lean, we became very shall we say very healthy in that air freight and logistic departments. Okay, so we can read that also on line 35-40 of that text surrounding those bars. So that is the first part. Okay, that's the end of that first part with very good news. We've done better than the global market itself. Now, let's come to the second part. As I mentioned, the second part is 2014. What is happening in 2014? These are predictions, because we're sitting in 2013 and we're trying to see what's going to happen next year, the following year, that's 2014. Okay, so that's the second point. Fine. This year we're starting here, this 2014 we're starting, better results are according to the forecast. Better results should be expected. Better results are on their way, we might say. In rail and road transport, for example, because that's where things were pretty bleak, we might say. In rail and road transport, Kuhn and Nagel, the numbers at Kuhn and Nagel, the numbers are predicted to go from -3%. You remember -3% in 2013. Those numbers are supposed to range, right? They would evolve, they would progress to a range that fluctuates between 1.5% to 4.5%. So this is if we're not proved wrong, this is a tremendous progression in volume concerning rail and road transport, where they've been very averse, where they've been very negative. The numbers are predicted to become highly positive. So it is a very noticeable recovery, not only when we compare to the -3% I was just talking about of 2013, but also when we compare the results of the progression of our company with the slow progression of the market. The global market will just move from 1% to 3%. So with our 4.5, we're way above the progression of the market. The forecasts are quite interesting here. Logistics, yes, if we come to logistics will edge down slightly, right? We used to be at 5%. That is in 2013, we're at 5%, plus 5%. This time it will edge down slightly, but really slightly. The numbers in logistics will vary between plus 3% and 4.5%. So there is no, sharp progression. There is no noticeable progression, we might say. We'd rather talk of what we say, the numbers are positive, but they are plateauing nonetheless, right? They're just kind of sitting on a plateau, we would say. So yes, logistics is going to show some temporary weakness, but of course we cannot forget how rail and road have not been going through the roof, but how rail and road have progressed from that -3% to 4.5% in 2014, and that is great great news, ladies and gentlemen. With that very positive note, I guess I have to wrap up that second part. This is globally the information I wanted to share with you. So we were not doing very badly in 2013, apart from those two units we mentioned. But in 2014, yeah, we may keep a smile. We may keep a smile. Okay. In terms of kind of recapitulating the thing, just to sum up, ladies and gentlemen, just let me say that in spite of the adverse results we have we have been met with in rail and road in 2013, Kuhn and Nagel has posted globally very good numbers, right? Our company, that's the main thing we have to remember. Our company remains on really the cutting edge if we benchmark it with the global performance of the market. Additionally, we might say that the forecast for 2014 are very optimistic. If everything goes as planned, our company will still be leading the way in terms of progression in transport and logistics. So, as the title of that article said, 2014 announces really a quite clear spell for our company. So to bring this talk to an end, suffice it to say that 2013 was not a bad year, and next year promises to be even better. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the talk I wanted to share with you, and I do thank you for your attention. Now, should you have any questions to put, please feel free to do so, and this is the time for those questions. Thank you very much to you all for showing up to this meeting. Thank you.